chairperson, and members of the high table. I'd like to appreciate Reality 2011 for bringing me from Stockholm to Denmark today. And I'm happy to be in your midst. I appreciate you, my sister Justina, awesome, and your entire cabinet. I want to appreciate everyone who's involved in the organization of this event today. God bless you. You're doing great. I'd like to see Nigerians rally together like this in a good cause for the good of our country. I believe that's what this event is all about. And I'm happy to be in your midst. It was very difficult for me to be here today, but with the help of God and Justina, I was able to make it. I had to call her and say that, look, I want to come to be with you, but I'm experiencing difficulty in getting a flight to return, because I have to return tonight back to Stockholm, because I have a little family challenge that has to be taken care of, so I will not be able to stay the night and relax with you as I would have loved to. I'm sure many more people will be here later on. This is nothing new to us Nigerians. They're protesting, that they would have preferred an evening engagement. Nevertheless, anyway, those of you that are here, you represent the rest of them. So, having said all of that, I wanted to appreciate God for enabling me to be here this afternoon stroke this evening with you. As I said, it was quite a bit of a challenge for me to be here, but I'm glad I was able to come nevertheless. And I came because I also believe in the cause that you are pursuing. Namely, I believe that not only is Jonathan my president, the party that he belongs to is a Nigerian party, and I'm here to represent anything that is Nigerian, the Nigerian cause, the Nigerian welfare, the Nigerian state, the Nigerian government, everything rolled into one. So I made it a point to be here at this meeting this afternoon, and I'm greatly honored to be in your midst, have been invited at all. Bring you greetings from our colleagues at the Embassy of Nigeria in Stockholm, with apologies that we are not able to be with you more often as we would have loved to, because of the distance, and also finance has not permitted us to site an embassy right here close by you, or even to come more often than we do now. But having said all of that, I would just like to note that we are here gathered to look for ways of bringing changes to Nigeria for the better. Like I was saying to some people, I said we've been eating almost like the same kind of diet for too long a time. Now we want a change in Nigeria. And I believe that this is one of those initiatives for change. And this is also what strengthened my resolve to be here, that you're here gathered to look for an initiative that will bring desired change for Nigeria. We want a new government. That's not new, it's the same government. But we have a candidate that is different from anything we have ever experienced in Nigeria. I think we can all agree to that. So, have we ever had anybody come from that part of Nigeria to rule Nigeria before? Never has been. And you know, in Nigeria, because we are so many, there's always this cry of, and some of you, your being here might also be part of what I'm about to say, that you feel that you were neglected, you were marginalized. Many parts of Nigeria are complaining of that. So I think that a candidate in the person of Jonathan, Goodluck Jonathan, is a candidate that is likely to bring a desired change in Nigeria in the sense of bringing more stability, appeasing those parts of Nigeria that have long felt so neglected. We also know where he comes from, that part of the world. That's where much of the oil wealth of Nigeria has been coming from. And yet the people have hardly benefited much from the proceeds or the benefits derived from oil. So for this reason, I think it's a good candidate, and I think that Nigerians should rise up and support his candidature. Secondly, you know, he comes from the party, because we don't have too many parties that cut across ethnicity and the diversity that we find in Nigeria. You know, PDP is a party that has people from different parts of Nigeria, all forming part of that party. You have people from the north, east, north, west, central, the central part of Nigeria, the south, west, east, and so on. Everybody is, from different. The diversity that we see in Nigeria is what you find in the PDP party, and I think it's the only party in Nigeria that has that. And so it is a plus, and I think that we need to support such a party. It just tells you that it has a very large following, very large support base. And I think that that is the kind of party that Nigeria needs. You might be wondering, why is the civil servant talking politics now? I said, my answer to you is, one wise man said that man is a political animal. You remember who? Aristotle, one of those wise men of yore, who said that man is a political animal. You know, human beings, we tend to play politics. We tend to choose. When we begin to differentiate between one thing and another, we're already being political. You know, and that's the reason why I'm thinking that way. For me, I have taken both to protect Nigeria, to promote Nigeria, and to fight for the good cause, whatever will bring a good end to Nigeria and to Nigerians in general. Nigerians have for many years been yearning for good governance, rather. And different initiatives have been taken by people across the spectrum of our nation, and those of us in the diaspora, such as these efforts that you are making today. And I'm one of those Nigerians that are hoping and praying and working towards good governance. And I believe this initiative that you have begun here in Denmark, it didn't start here, as we've already heard, but it's spreading, it's catching up. How I wish that those of us out here were not disenfranchised, so that by the time we put our efforts together, we pool our resources, our efforts together, and add it and convert it into a vote, it will speak very loudly in the polity of our nation, Nigeria. It will make a big difference. And so those of us that are gathered here today in support of the candidature of Goodluck Jonathan and his running mate, Sambo, will agree with me today that it's because we are yearning for a better Nigeria. A Nigeria where we can all be proud of, where we can all be accepted, no matter where we come from, where a Nigeria where the resources will be distributed, if not evenly, at least equitably, to an extent, a Nigeria where everyone feels that they belong, and not have so many of our people running out. It is for this cause that I came all the way from Stockholm, to encourage you that you're doing the right thing. Keep it up. And whatever you can do, if you don't have a vote to influence the people who do have a vote, please, let's do it. If it is to support them financially, those who are in a position to do so, let's do so. Let's encourage them to do the right thing, to vote, and to vote for the right people. And I want to encourage us that God has promised to help us in Nigeria. Those of us who pray, we have heard from God. He has promised that this, that Nigeria entered a jubilee last year. We are still in that jubilee. And biblically, in the jubilee year is a year of liberation. It's a year when slaves are set free. It's a year when people who are in debt, they are freed from their debt. And God promised to do great things for Nigeria, to bring Nigeria into her jubilee, when we can be liberated, we can be set free. And so I have a lot of hope for this coming election, that God will honor His word. I've been following God for I've been following God for a very long time. I was sharing with my brother here, I said 22 years now, and I know what God can do. He's still in the business of performing miracles. It's not only in the Bible, even today. So He promised us, He spoke prophetically that He's going to bring Nigeria into her jubilee. So let's pull our hands on deck together and work towards that. When God speaks, sometimes we too have a responsibility. Those of us who know how to pray, we are praying. I enjoin all of you to pray with us. And those who can do other things, please do them. But don't go the other way. Stay with God. God doesn't need help from you. It's just only to keep Him reminded about His promises. That's what He needs for us. We, on our part, our responsibility is. So if those of you that are here can help those who are voting to get to the voting, the polling stations and vote, let us do so. I've said enough for the